Welcome back to Action 2 News at 6. A majority of gun deaths in our state are deaths by suicide. That's according to the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions.
Now, lawmakers hope to give gun retailers the resources to keep customers safe. Emily Roberts has more on what a proposed bill could mean for gun shops and ranges in our state.
We do know that veterans die by suicide, 70% utilizing a firearm versus 50% in the non-veteran population.
An alarming statistic, drawing attention from legislators. A proposed bill could make mental health awareness more commonplace at state gun shops.
It's extremely important to understand why things happen and why people do what they do.
The Family Shooting Academy in Bellevue safely stores guns inside this safe. But the proposed bill isn't all about storage. It would provide grant money to help train gun sellers to recognize signs of distress.
Here at Family Shooting Academy, anybody that's going to go out to shoot, we flat out ask them if they're dealing with any depressions. You would be surprised, but we have had people stop at that point in our check-in process and be like, yeah, I kind of am.
Money would also go toward distributing mental health resources and allowing gun sellers to provide temporary firearm storage for people at risk. The initiative's made possible through a potential Wisconsin Department of Health Services grant program. The Medical College of Wisconsin says it's important for families and friends to start conversations about gun safety.
Do you have a firearm at home? How do you store it? Are you storing it properly? You know, how about if I hold it for you temporarily, or do you have a safe to put it in? If not, did you know there's a program available where your local firearm retailer can hold that for you temporarily?
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, call the number on your screen, 988, to be connected immediately with a trained counselor. In Bellevue, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.